Hello world, how is everyone doing? I hope extremely well. Right, so today it's a dull day, it's a cold day. I've been shivering since I've been on the bike, and I'm heading out to a motorcycle meetup, but that's not what I'm going to record, and that's not why I've got your attention. I've got your attention because I'm doing a motorcycle review. Whee! Now, I would be more enthusiastic if the weather was more clement. To be honest, like I said, I'm really cold. So hopefully when I start talking about the motorcycle, oh, we've got some sun. Whoa, that's lovely. That's lovely indeed. Oops, I crossed the lanes, did a naughty thing there. Right, yeah, so I'm doing a motorcycle review of another Benelli. Simply because I've actually committed to a review of the TRK 502X, the adventure version of the 500cc parallel twin that Benelli has offered as an adventure bike. And I've also reviewed the Leoncino 500, which is their cafe racer introduction. And both of them, I believe, are exceptional bikes. I was holding back on the TRK 502 until I did a second review, and I'd ridden the bike for 2,000 kilometers, which is close to 1,600 miles. Is it? Well, somewhere in that region, and on the most toughest of terrains in the Karakoram range. And I realized it is a fantastic bike. It ticks so many boxes. It ticked boxes that I didn't even know existed. And then I did a review of the Leoncino 500, same engine but different type of design, and I was absolutely impressed with that. I like a cafe racer, I like a little bit of power, and I thought maybe the 500 wouldn't be so powerful, but it was powerful. It was powerful enough, certainly for, you know, the bag of bones that I am. So yeah, most impressed with that. And then I thought to myself, to complete the, you know, to go full circle, to complete the review, I should really do the other bike that they offer, which is the 502c, the cruiser version. Now, many have joked that the C means cheap, it means Chinese, it means, I don't know, anything but chopper or cruiser. So I thought, let's either agree with them by proving them right, or let's disagree with them by proving them wrong. Now, I acquired this bike some 3 or 4 days ago, and I traveled with the bike approximately 180 miles to get back home, which equates to maybe 280, 290 kilometers. I was impressed then, but obviously when it's a new bike, you're sort of excited by the fact that you've got a new machine. It's a 2021, so it's absolutely brand new, and I thought to myself, am I now falling foul of showing an infatuation, or am I being objective? So today it's a question of trying to be as objective as possible. I'm going to try to find faults if I can, but overall I'll give you my conclusion at the end. So this is the review of Benelli's Cruiser 502c. Let's begin.
So from the outset, it looks very different from most cruisers. In fact, there is a cruiser out there that's 3 times its cost, though it also is more than twice its engine power, which is known as the Ducati Diavel. And the Ducati Diavel is pretty much what I think Benelli have taken as a benchmark to copy, and copy well.
So let's first begin with the sound. With the stock exhaust, it still sounds very throaty. It sounds raspy, it sounds as though it is a cruiser. Obviously when you sit on this bike, you feel it's a cruiser because it has the forward pegs, but engine, seating position all suggest it is a cruiser. Looks wise, when I show you the pictures, you'll also see that it is cruiser-esque. But now cruisers have changed, haven't they? They're not those typical cruisers with the really long forks. They've gone into sports cruising, and this motorcycle, if I'm being brutally honest, is Benelli's, let's say, freehand at emulating something known as the Ducati Diavel. They look very similar, but engine wise, feel wise, they will feel very different, simply because this is 500cc, that's close to 1200cc. This weighs a lot less, that weighs a lot more, and there is a difference between Ducati and Benelli, let's be brutally honest. However, at a third of the cost of the Ducati, this is certainly a much more economical, viable option. Right, let's carry on. Now, what I found with this motorcycle, thinking it's got a longer wheelbase, which it does in comparison to the other Benelli options, I thought this would be really difficult around bends, but oh my god, this is so smooth around bends. I feel it's actually smoother because it's lower down, even though it has 17 centimeters of ground clearance, which is quite substantial for a cruiser. It does feel that it's lower down, and the weight, which is mostly at the front, keeps this motorcycle planted. Certainly planted at lower speeds. When you go on the motorway and you exceed, say, let's say 150 kilometers an hour, you feel that maybe the back wheel isn't as planted as the front, but that could be simply because most of the weight is at the front. But nothing to worry about. It's not a wobble that will cause you any distress, just something that will make you smile.
So let's talk about the nitty-gritty of this bike. 500cc, 47 brake horsepower, and even though it looks like the Ducati, the truth is that as a cruiser it's probably being pitted against the Honda Rebel, which is also 500cc. It's A2 compliant, which is very good, as it's opening itself to a bigger market, and then the engine, which is no way falling short of any Japanese bike or European bike, is solid as a rock. In terms of equipment, it's fully LED, all lights LED, and then it has a wonderful dash, a TFT dash, which changes color according to day or night. They have put a lot in this. This bike that I'm showing you now is my own, so I've got the backrest added, only because I like the way it looks a little bit like a Scorpion. The front lights, which many have suggested looks like a scene from the Scream movie, or certainly has an alien type look to it. Didn't grow on me first, but has now. It's okay, it's good, it's LED, looks different, it makes the whole bike look different. I've also added a little windscreen, which I think is where they fell short a little. I think the small negatives that I did find was that it was short of a USB charger point, which most motorcycles should offer as standard. We all need charging ports because we all have charging devices. The other thing I think, which I've mentioned before, the windscreen should have come as standard, but these are all small things. That's me being pedantic. Other than that, I'm extremely happy with it. It looks good. It rides exceptionally well. The bucket seat means that you can be short or you can be tall, and you'll still look good on this bike, and the bike rides well. One other thing to point out, the rear tire is skinny. It's anorexic. It could have done with a better tire, a thicker tire, to give it more presence on the road. However, the upside of having the tire that it does have is the handling is fantastic, and I think a thicker tire would have affected handling considerably. In terms of all the other facts and figures, the specifications, I'll just put a spec sheet on the screen and you can read that at your leisure. But overall, what I would say about this bike is that if you're considering buying it, feel comfortable in the knowledge that it is a very, very good cruiser and a head turner. I took this to a motorcycle meet, and even though there were Harleys and there were vintage bikes, I had a gathering around this bike because some of the people were asking me, what was it, how much was it, and where did it come from? So when these questions are asked of you, you know people are impressed with the bike. That's all, folks. That's the review over. I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful life, in fact. Until next time, keep smiling. And for those of you that are on two wheels, please ride safely.